or deed of the limbs, or deed of the tongue. If somebody is not lying, it's the deed of the tongue. If someone is having good intention, it's the deed of the heart. And we have found out also from hadith that Rubba Sari, how many people that are fasting, they have no reward from their fast except hunger and thirst. Because of what? Physically, their limbs are fasting, but their mind and soul are not fasting. So as a Muslim, this is something ordinarily we assume all of us are sincere and we have a class. So this session can be also called a CPD, continual professional development. How can we further increase our sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because everything we are doing, if there is no sincerity in it, he has no reward, and also maybe a source of punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah save us from that. So it's a fundamental part of our religion. As I mentioned earlier, all of us have a class at one level or the other. This is a continuous professional development course that we want to do. I will start that with criteria to ask myself, am I actually sincere? Using 13 criteria. Number one, do I seek for popularity? That I do not seek for myself place of popularity. Wherever we are, whatever I'm doing, I don't want to be popular. That's no intention of doing whatever I'm doing. Am I continuously disturbing and I did by other people? Yesterday in summer I didn't meet any fast. In winter I didn't miss any fast. I just went to our tahajjud. Do I keep myself in my inadequacies, my feelings? Where is my salah in Jama? Where I fail to observe my salah in first sufuf? Where I missed Thursday fasting and all of that righteous deed? Do I realize my adequacy? Where I feel my obligations to my family, to my neighbor? Do I lack these facts? In respect of my position, I am a leader, am I a follower? Am I performing my duty as expected? Do I seek the pleasure of Allah, whatever I am doing? Is my anger and emotion only for the sake of Allah? Do I bother about continuous work that, why do I need to observe Salat every day? I've lived somebody before that told me that. Why do I need to observe Tahajjud every day? The same person told me some few years ago that when I spoke about Zakat with you, Allah blessing with you, I said, it's actually paying Zakat every year. I paid Zakat last year, and the West is the same West is still going to pay Zakat again on it this year. So am I the fact that I need continuously to be doing righteous deed? Am I happy if I increase my effort of deed that I put forward? Do I see praise from anyone on my deeds? Or people that perform good things? Do I hate praising them? That I'm not happy praising other Muslims that are doing well? Do I do muhasabah, self-accountability to free myself from self-deceit? But this is a great deceit, that self-deceit, you are praising yourself of anything you are doing. You are not taking yourself accountable. You see yourself in your soul, you are the best among human beings, you are the best and everything. Do I gather my heart around Islam and Muslim community and not around the personality? That whatever you want to do, you think, these people are doing it, these are the people I follow. Or you look at what the Islam says, what the Muslim community say. Do I see ideas and I drive others with love? So if you answer this starting question, it's going to help us to understand, am I sincere and actually in my deed? So we are going to have the discussion under about 4 or 5 titles. Look at what's the meaning of a class? What are the Quranic verses, hadith, and statements of scholars on the class? What are the dangers of a show off, which is opposite of a class? What are the fruits and virtues of a class? And then what are the cure for show off? Along the line, look at some example of Salaf, how the Buddhists give an example of their class. If you look at the lexical meaning from the dictionary, well, it's not Mujam Wajis. This tradition define a class as purifying something from what is mixed with it, or to give undiluted advice and love, and to just show off in something. Imam Ghazali helped us in Ulumuddin to expand the lecture definitions. But give one example that everything is considered to be mixed with other things. When the scholar report is mixed with set of the colleagues, rice mixed with beans. You need rice, you don't need beans. You remove beans from the rice, then that rice will become colleagues has been purified. And the action of the person who remove the beans from the rice is known as a class. And then this is supported by the verse of Quran, Quran chapter 16, verse 66, that Allah told us that من بين فرس أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم من بين فرس ودم لبنا خالصا سعيدا للشاربين. That we provide for you out of what lies in their bellies between fish and bloody drink of the meat, pure and pleasant for those who drink it. Oh, this one, Sa'id al-Shaykh, that Allah give an example that for the cow, the milk, Allah extract the milk from the place where we have the feces and we have the blood, and the milk came out of it. Because Allah said, oh, this one, that is, make it out, be pure, milk and pleasant for those who drink it, to give us this lexical meaning from the Quran. Imam Ghazali explained further that milk is produced within animal body in place where blood and digested matters are present and mixed together. Allah bring forth the milk that's completely pure and mixed or mixed with other things. This is one of the signs and wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at the honey. The same thing also similar to honey. Now, where does honey come from? Is mixed with other things. Allah purely bring out the honey, which is very sweet and very pure. Similarly, this is essential to the classes when our action did and everything is not mixed with any impurities. The milk we are taking from the animal, we have the blood and feces, was purified. No trace of blood and feces in the milk that we all drink from the animal. Doesn't any contain any injurious substances that can harm. Similarly, with honey, and Allah give us good nourishment from the both of them. So from this, apart from the knowledge of the class, also apart from knowledge of broader biology, Allah is able to bring something pure, beneficial, and light out of the fact that's contained impurity. That is, it can bring sincere faith that could character from the other struggling against lower desire. As human being, we have to be in continuous struggle with our soul. Our soul love praise. Our soul love popularity. Our soul love leadership. And our soul loves to be discussed at every point in time. So we have to struggle with our soul to remove this impurity from our soul to have a class. One of the great reformers of this century, Egyptian scholar also, explained the class to us in a broader and comprehensive way that actually covers everything. And then from this definition is going to be the focus of discussion. Most of them are going to be discussed. We found out that it's already explained in this definition to have a broader view of what a class is, because there is nothing we want to do that said a class is not involved as a Muslim. That's why I started the fact that as a Muslim, became a Muslim because of a class. If a kafir is not that is lying, what is wrong in it? There is no sin after denying Allah. But if a Muslim is lying, then there's a problem. The lying is not part of the character of a Muslim. If a Muslim is untrustworthy, there's a problem. Muslim is expected to be trustworthy. Trustworthy is not part of the character of a Muslim. So similarly, a class is expected part of the character, the foundation, values, system of a Muslim. It can never lack it. If a Muslim lacks sincerity, then that's a problem. Some of the actions are likely to minor shirk. Actually, the opposite of the class is shirk. Shirk out category. So Imam Azhar define a class as is a Muslim to endeavor with his words, whatever he's saying. You want to greet somebody. You want to praise somebody. You want to read Quran. You want to give advice. You want to warn somebody. You want to report somebody. Action, whatever you do, you are writing, you are walking, you are sleeping, you are sweeping the mosque, you are observing salat, you are fasting, you are doing charity, you are bringing up your children, you are going to your work source of living, you are helping somebody to do something, you are giving advice, action, and you're striving. Whatever you do on the path of Allah, to desire with it Ridwanullah, the pleasure of Allah, Wajihullah, the face of Allah, and great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without considering any gain. You are not expecting any gain from anybody, from anywhere. Outlook look. That people to look with praise, this person is good. Or honor, or title, or advancement, or criticism. So that you are going to be a soldier of your Aqidah. What is Aqidah is basically our commitment to living according to our Iman. Our Iman is going to be a guiding principle. When you are sincere, you are going to be committed to your ideology of being a Muslim and your Iman. You won't be a slave of target and benefits. That whatever you do, you are looking to have a target and benefit for it. And this then Allah explains Surah An-An'am verse 1. Allah told us that, say in the salati, my salat, my sacrifice, and my life and death are for Allah, the Lord of the world. So entire living is for the sake of Allah. So Allah told us that He has not created the man, the jinn, and the man said to worship Allah. And Imam Ibn Taymiyyah have explained the concept where it covers everything we are doing. Everything we are doing, this is what is ibadah. And for us to have reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to do it for the sake of Allah only and only. No, or don't seek any other benefit or reward from it. Because of what? Allah is our goal. And Allah is bigger than every other thing. In last verse of Surah Al-Kahf, Allah told us that in our worship, we not seek associate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Taking associate with Allah is not about worship any other thing. Having another intention behind our worship is a sign of associating the partner with Allah in our worship. As I mentioned earlier, also our deed of the art and deed of the limb is class one of the deed of the art. If somebody doesn't have a class, you may not know. We have several examples in the life of forerunners in faith in various generations that we have people that are imam, that pray, this salah, do everything, but they are working for the kafir, for the kuffar. We have scholars that are leading people. They are very dumb Quran tafsir, but they are not Muslim. Because of what we don't know what is at the heart, we judge them by their outward action. So, a class is the deed of the art, and is the utmost most important, the forerunner of the deed of the art that we need to do that. We want the Allah, the pressure of Allah, whatever we are doing, and try to be from all worldly mixes. We don't want any quick and short desire like profit, position, money, popularity, or either in the hearts of other people, want people to love or respect or whatever we are doing, or want to be famous, smug man, or seek praises, or in the other way, we don't want people to blame us. So part of the class that I should not fear people to blame us for whatever you want to do, or even lost, or any other that we mix with us seeking the pleasure of your intention. We have to purify our deed from it. That's what the class is. And also, we are Muslim and we believe in unity of Allah, Ta'ahid Allah. One of the fruits of our Ta'ahid is what? Is a class. The isolating Allah for worship. Whatever we are doing, because we believe that Allah is the only one we need to worship, but whatever we are doing because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the opposite class is shirk, association partner with Allah. Whoever is not sincere in his intention and deed, associated partner with Allah, that shirk has various categories. So sincerity is Tawhid, and shirk is the opposite of Tawhid. So that's the meaning. We have hidden shirk, as told about Rasulullah, which is show off, and shirk that are open. Narration given by Farah Shaddad bin Aswad said that we regarded show off as a minor shirk during the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You can find this narration in Majmu Zawaid. So in essence, the basis of sincerity in action is our intention to be dedicated to Allah. We may have various reasons for doing whatever we want to do. Some of them be material, like guarding wealth, status, reward, or worldly benefits. Some of them might immaterial, like praise, recognition, belonging. I'm moving to self-respect or mental satisfaction, or something that is not obviously open to other people. Essentially, three things define our motive for that what any human being is doing. There are three things that shape our person reason. Number one is our aqidah. What does that person believe? The value system of such person. What do I consider important and worthy of my efforts? We are here today attending the MFB Usrah, but we value it. I want to advance our knowledge of religion, want to better Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some other person with what value his effort is, he want to watch sports. Some other people want to go to the park and enjoy the summer sunshine. That is our value system. The other thing that decide what we do is our knowledge, understanding, and way of our thinking. So we can see these three things are aiding. Nobody know your aqidah, your guiding principle, what you believe it is true, your value system. We can see the sign of it, your knowledge, understanding, and thoughts. So those are the three things that guide human being, what they are doing, and they say they are doing what they are doing. For example, if somebody value system is Wadullah, placing Allah, he will be giving charity, sadaqah because of Allah, even secretly. If somebody value system is gathering wealth, he will use every opportunity for financial gain. That is his own value system. If somebody values his honor and integrity, he will refuse to lie when it's costly. So a kafir, a non-believer, can have honor and integrity as a value system. He will never lie. Your value system is knowledge. You want to then to get knowledge. You spend time studying because of you think knowledge is valuable. And things like that determine why we do what we do. For example, somebody do a sadaqah. So value system is with one Allah. You do it sincerely for Allah. His value system is public recognition. If we donate, all people will praise him. He's very generous. His value system is community welfare. He donates to support the mosque. So all these three people, their outward action are identical, but the basis that govern that what their action differ. Some is moral reason, some is spiritual reason, and this affect the quality of the actions. So the highest value believer we have for action is with one Allah, the pleasure of Allah, every other will. Based on hadith reported by Umar bin Khattab, all of us know the hadith as one of our way. Action are done by our intention, and every person shall have only what they intended. This hadith summarize everything that is a class. But Rasulullah give us the basis of a class. Number one is in our amalu bin niyas. Action are judged only by intention, and everything shall be rewarded for what they intended. Whoever migrate from Mecca to Medina, Allah will reward him. Whoever migrated to marry a woman, he will marry her. Allah will reward every person for their hijrah based on their intention. That's a big example of marriage. To tell us that you may have many reasons, a lot of companions migrated for various reasons. Some, the life of Rasuli, maybe for marriage other people, Think about that intention. So just take an example that when we are doing an action, we have various reasons why we are doing it. And this is very important because it establishes the validity and value of action depend on the intention behind it. Our reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to the degree of our intention, correspond to our intention why we do it. Imam Shafi'i Allah told us that these enter 7th chapter of fiqh. It also analyzes 1/3 of knowledge because a person did relate to the arts, deed of the art, his tongue, deed of the tongue, and the lips. And the intention govern the arts. So these are these, as you said, it's not that these are these our intention. It's almost 1/3 of our deed, whatever we want to do. Imam Muhammad Rahimah told us that the foundation of Islam revolves around 3 hadiths. He mentioned this hadith for Nawawi and hadith 5 for Nawawi. Whoever interested in this matter of that is not rejected for the Aisha Anha. Then hadith for Nawawi that al-halal bayyinun wal haram bayyinun. The lawful is clear and the unlawful is clear. In essence, it means that Islam is built upon al-ikhlas, sincerity, and at-tawfiq, adherence to the Sunnah of Rasulullah and avoiding the doubtful matters. Imam Bukhari and many of the scholars of hadith normally began their hadith with this first hadith. Action are judged only by the intention. So scholars agree that this hadith normally put first in the books of hadith to establish a foundation that every action of Islam must start with sincere intention. Every other secondary benefit invalidate our sincerity. A Muslim may receive lawful worldly benefit from an action, but class remain intact. A muazzin calling azan in the masjid may collect salary, but may not diminish his intention if he's doing the adhan for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not because of the reward. Similarly, imam, muallim, scholars collecting salary and things like that. The primary thing is if their governing intention is ridwanullah and worldly objectives are not their true aim. So as a Muslim and a true believer, what is expected from us is our religious motive, ridwanullah, should overcome every other desire in whatever we are doing. That we want to seek ridwanullah in the year after and overcome all what the benefits. That's why a sincere believer has no motive except closeness to Allah. As mentioned, the verse we quoted, Surah An-Nahl, verse 162, Allah told us that could say in the salati, my salat, wa nusiki, my sacrifice, my mahyaya, my living, wa mamati. If I die, lillahi rabbil alamin is for Allah, the Lord of the world. I will not associate a partner with Allah, and those I was commanded, and I'm among the first to submit. So the entire life of a Muslim, Allah mentions Salat Nusiki, to ensure that whatever you are doing in this world must be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On this verse, Imam Ghazali Rahimahullah told us that this verse defines class by focusing on the acts rather than the outward deed. The Salah we want to observe, our sacrifice is hidden. It's obvious, sorry. But our deeds are acts. So in essence, we can define a class into 2 things. There are 2 inseparable parts. One is the deed we want to do must be for Allah alone, to seek His pleasure, not for the influence of what we gain. 2, our acts must detach from people's opinion. What that the people are going to say about Him. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was describing Awliya in his Surah Al-Ma'idah, Allah told us as part of the verse that Wallahu yakhafu lawmata la'in. They will not fear the blame of those who blame. People will criticize them, they don't fear criticism. You did not perform your righteous deed, but people are no abandoned because of people are going to criticize you. Then you are not the class, lost your class. Because a sincere believer feel nothing when he's praised or criticized. It's the same thing. You feel nothing. As human being, we like people to praise us. Then we people say it hurt us, but for us to be sincere, we should not be feeling anything on our words that people praise or people criticize us. God has also told us that this feeling do not become motive for our action, that people want to praise or criticize us. And Surah to in some verse 9, Allah told us that people that feed people only for the sake of Allah, that they share nothing, neither reward nor thanks for whoever they feed. So this was also I thought the answers of the class that it is directed to Allah. The ayah is not seek any payment in the form of possible accusation. Then we go to statement of some scholars on the class. One of the Tawin, Imam Fudel ibn Iyad told us that leaving a deed because people is showing, because of people is showing up. Carrying out a deed because of people is also shirk. And his class is for Allah to save you from the truth. We can take three lessons from this statement. One, want to do a righteous deed, want to fast, want to observe salat. But people are watching you, you drop it. That you have allowed people the opinion to control your worship. This is form of riyah, sure. Number two, doing a deed in order to impress people. That means that you are directing your worship to people rather than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is minor shirk asgar. The third is the class is we do not live the deed solely because of Allah. It's like we do our deeds solely because of Allah. Allah deserves our opinion, regardless of people's opinion. You want to go to the masjid, but you can't speak, but people might think that you are pious. That's a mistake. You are lying. Also, if you go there, if you go to the mosque, people are going to praise you. But you go to the mosque, Allah knows that your class or that in congregational prayer. One of the tabi'in, and also who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people testify to his fear of Allah. Sa'ad bin Abdullah Tasari. He explained why sincerity is the class is very difficult. He asked, what is tough on the soul? He said the class. Because there is no portion for the arts in it. If you have no objection not to be sincere, it's a requirement of our day. So it's the most difficult thing for a believer to do. Naturally, everybody works for himself, either praise, either recognition, either influence, or ordinary thank you. I hear people say that I do something for people, don't even call to say thank you. But instead of ordinary SMS. He can't call me to thank me. Or I did this for him. He even saw me. He did not greet me. Where is the class in all this? Even the feeling that, inshallah, I'm righteous, I'm doing sadaqah. But pure sincere give all credit and purpose to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no room for ego or claim a portion. So that's why the class requires continuous self-examination. Who is Umar? Before you look at the statement of the class. The second caliph of Islam is part of people that Allah granted paradise where they are living. Ashara Mubashirun. Is somebody that verse of Quran were released because of his thoughts. Allah makes his thought a legal part of religion. Is somebody that also told us that if he's going, Shaitan is coming. Shaitan will take another way. Now, part of his prayer, normally they say, Allahumma ij'al amali kullahu salihan waj'alhu liwajhika khalisan wa la taj'al li hadifin shay'an. Oh Allah, make all my day righteous. Look at what we describe, that Allah gave him the of paradise from before he died, that is going to paradise. He's still praying to Allah, Allah make my day righteous. Make it sincere for your sake. and do not make any part of it for anybody. He asked for three things. My deed should be correct and acceptable. The intention so is purely for Allah. That no created being has any share in my motive behind it. Even me, I don't want any share, only for you, Allah. He taught us that having a righteous is not enough by itself. It was both correct and sincere. Another scholar, Mutarab ibn Abdullah, is a prominent tabi'in. These are the people that made the companion, the student of the Sahaba. He used to make dua that Allahumma inni astaghfiruka mimma tubtu ilayka minhu summa utta fi wastaghfiruka mimma ja'altahu laka ala nafsi summa lam awfir laka bi wastaghfiruka mimma za'amtu illa aradta bi wajhika muqlasan qalbi minhu ma qad alimta. What's the meaning? So, oh Allah, I seek forgiveness in what I sought repentance from you, but I return to it. I seek your forgiveness in what I made for you on myself, I did not fulfill it. And I seek your forgiveness what I think I intended for your sake, but my heart makes something with it from what I know. So from this dua of this tabi'in, one, he appreciates his own inadequacy, a vision of human weakness. A person will be engaged in action with a sincere intention, but later discover traces of pride, love or praise, or self-admiration entering the heart. Rather than take perfect sincerity, the action of Allah, forgive me. Even in the impurity they could not detect. In another statement, he also told us that the righteousness of the heart, the righteousness of the whole body. And the corruption of the heart is the corruption of the whole body. That means that if our heart is sincere, our righteous act will be acceptable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another statement, he told us that if I knew that Allah accepted for me a single good deed, I would wish to die. When asked why he said it's the meaning of the Quran, Surah to verse 27, Allah said that indeed Allah accepted only for people of taqwa. This implies that the fear of the tabi that Allah may reject their deed, despite doing good deeds, this is their fear. But the excellence of our action is not discounted, but rather how sincere are we. So in conclusion, the meaning of class, one, we should be careful that we are doing righteous deed of either because or abstaining from righteous deed because of people. People should not have opinion in how when we do a righteous deed. True. Since class is something difficult, we need to be continuously checking our heart. In another narration, so before he do any deed that he want to tell one, he will pause and ask himself, am I doing for the sake of Allah? Then make dua. Allah from that Allah should make our day righteous and exclusive for him. And also should not be complacent. Should be continuous seeking forgiveness. In part of the dua thought about the Rasul, I will say morning and evening is Allahumma. I forgot the dua line. I was going to share it. Allahumma inna a'udhu min an nushrika shay'an na'lamuhu wa nastaghfiruka liman la na'lamu. Oh Allah, I seek forgiveness from committing shirk with you, from what I know and from what I did not know. And Quran summarize all this meaning and Surah Al-Bayyinah verse 5. وَمَا عُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. You are only commanded to worship Allah, making religion sincerely for Him. So Islam is not claiming you have a perfect heart. It's continuous striving to find our intention and ask Allah to complete what soul cannot achieve on his own. That is summary on the meaning of a class. What are the Quranic verses on a class? Allah subhanahu Zumar verse 2 to 3. Allah told us that inna sayyidika al-kitaba bil haqqi fa'budullah mukhlishan lahu ad-din. Indeed, we have sent down to you the book in truth. So worship Allah, making religion sincerely exactly for Him. To Allah belong the pure and exclusive religion. Mukhlishan lahu ad-din. in this verse does not mean be sincere. It means that purify and dedicate your intention solely to Allah. Because Lauddin, making every act of worship of business exclusively for Allah. In essence, Allah is not only commanding us to what to worship, also command how to worship Him. Fa'budullaha mukhlishan lahu-ddin. Worship Allah, purify and dedicate your intention solely to Allah. Lahu-ddin, taking every act of worship out exclusively for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's Surah verse 2 to 3. Because of time, we know for that there are a lot of Islamic scholars speak on this hadith, that all our actions be sincerely for Allah and the guidance of the guidance of Rasulullah. Right? In another verse, Surah Al-Araf, verse 29, Allah said, "Qul amara rabbi bil qisti wa aqimu wujuhakum inda kulli masjid wa aqimu mukhlisina lahu ad-din kama bada'akum ta'udun." Say, my Lord has commanded justice, and set your face towards Him at every place of worship, and call upon Him, making your devotion sincerely for Him. The lesson on this verse is number one, Allah started with justice. Indeed that righteousness only in our relationship with Allah, but also in our conduct towards our creation. This expression means turning ourselves completely towards Allah, our body, our intention, our worship. Allah, this is an outward direction to Allah and inward direction to Allah. Our outward direction to Allah is making our salah facing Qibla. Inward direction is turning our heart towards Allah, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another verse, verse 5, we explain that one. We explain that one earlier in conclusion, the meaning of because of time, we need to leave that one. But in this, Allah used the word that will not accept that what Allah was as a religion, worship Allah alone with sincere devotion. Then Allah use the word Onofa. Onofa means turning away from all falsehood and shirk and inclining to pure Tawhid. So just part of some of the verses of Quran that talk about the class. Because of time, we are going to move to other things. I think we mentioned some of them, that every righteous, always said every righteous deed has two pillars that make accepted by Allah. The first that there is a good intention. The second is being in consonance with the Sunnah and the Sharia. I think we explained this one earlier on our introduction. In the Quran, Allah used some other word far from a class that also means in class. We mentioned especially some of the wajillah for the face of Allah in Surah Al-Insan, verse 9. You read al-Akira, they are seeking hereafter in Surah 2. So Allah also mentioned it to meet Surah Al-Imam, verse 152. So means a class. Also, Sawab al-Akira, looking for the reward of the hereafter. Surah Al-Insan, verse 40, also means clarity. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 27, with the God of Allah, seeking the pleasure of Allah also means a class, and that's what all these words mean. Because with one, the pleasure of Allah is also the objective of every believer. Our faith is incomplete without seeking the pleasure of Allah. You want to speak, you speak with the truth and see what is beneficial, because Allah loves truthfulness. You want to keep silent when speaking to involve backbiting or harm. Doing sadaqah, seeking Allah pressure, not praise among others because of time. So now let's go to warning against show off. We have mentioned earlier on that the opposite of civil society to do show off. We start from that. The popular hadith in Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, whatever Usman bin Affan and also told us that whoever build a mosque seeking with the pleasure of Allah, Allah will give a house for him in paradise. There are some section of the Muslim community, almost every Muslim community love building mosque because of this hadith. But there's a condition for that masjid. It must be only good one who does pleasure for Allah. You did the mosque for other purpose, there is no benefit for it. Even in the life of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, That was in Surah Tawbah. Allah is a Masjid al-Dirar. A mosque that was established not so because of worship Allah. Allah in that verse of Quran condemning that masjid. Look at the benefit of the masjid to the Muslim community. Look at the reward for whoever built the mosque for the Muslim community. For the primary criteria to be qualified for the reward, the intention must be solely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another hadith quoted by Abu Musa al-Ashari, a man went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "O Messenger of Allah, a man who fights for booty and a man who fights, to be mentioned, and a man who fights for people to know his position, which is of them is the path of Allah." Rasulullah said that whoever fights so that the word of Allah reigns supreme is the one fighting on the path of Allah. So from this hadith, we can understand the fact any action we do for other purpose, apart from the seeking the word of Allah, then it's not the path of Allah. There is no reward for it. Salat is from the mental vital of Islam. Now, this one of the verse, the non-believer used to confuse Muslims that Allah calls those who observe Salat. Say, why do they know Salat? Or why the Allah, who are those who observe Allah calls? Allah give condition. One, they are neglecting their Salah. Two, they are doing their Salah because of show off. It's not only that Salah will not be accepted, but the cause of Allah is also on them. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 264, Allah wants our big believer that do not nullify your act of charity with boasting, causing harm to people. So there are three diseases of intention and conduct. Allah bring all the three. Allah mentioned three diseases in this verse, in verse 264. One is out, show off. You are in Sadaqah, ibadah for praise, reputation, status, admiration, being as generous. Al-Manna. Al-Manna is reminding you of your evil. I did this for you. Without me, can you go to school? You'll have not if I didn't employ you. Remember how much I've helped you. This was has transformed his righteous charity into means of asserting superiority over recipient. And Allah warned that they had modified the act. Allah causing harm to those people, including that also humiliating the person that received your charity. That was a sake of someone that wants to pay zakat, and he advertised to people that people that want to pay zakat should come and collect zakat. A scholar that advised that these people want to help you, going to observe the worship of Allah, and you are inconveniencing them, asking them to come, and I think Allah will accept it. And this wealthy person started crying. He said people should not come again. And now go and give them the word. So because we do charity, Allah give us benefit to be able to action righteous more than that does not humiliate them and insulting people, exposing their needs to others or embarrassing them. The people may benefit from our wealth, but the spiritual reward of the giver has been destroyed. And in this verse 264, Allah gives us an analogy. It's the example of that a small stone covered with dust, or a mountain covered with soil, and there was a rain. When you see the mountain, you see the soil. This is a fertile land. If you plant something there, it's going to germinate. It's going to be a lot of crops. Not knowing that what is underneath is stone. And it's rain. The rain carry all the soil. You can see only stone, a bare layer that is not useful for planting. That's the example of something that do charity and posting with it, not because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another hadith that I would like us to look into, brought by Musa Muhammad and Trimidi. Also told us that from Ka'b Malik, we did that. Two hungry wolves, bin bani ja'an yuksala fil ghanam. Two hungry wolves let loose among sheep and no more destructive to them than a person greed wealth and status to his religion. We all know wolves. It's all enter the focus. He can eat all the sheep that destroy the property and material being, the business of such person. But person greed for wealth and status is more harmful to our religion than this. Because For wolves, their natural instinct is to hunt and to cause damage. That's their own natural instinct. First of all, said that the desire for wealth and honor of state to show off is more difficult to a personal religion than this because the danger is hidden. As I mentioned earlier, if one may continue to observe Salah, fast, give charity, speak about Islam is asked gradually by how much money can I make? What position can I take? Will people respect me? Will people recognize my contribution? Will people regard me as important? What will I get from this? The outward did with me, but the intention can shift from Allah to the creation. So we need to be careful of our intention. Allah Islam does not forbid us from accumulating wealth, but exilmat, excessive love for wealth, that it bases our value system is there's a common statement normally said that the end justify the means. Whatever means it made to get this money, then I'm going to get it. I was discussing with a brother a few days ago. He told me when they're in the undergraduate, they don't pay for tram. I told him, so I said that I knew it's not, but then I was doing it. And a lot of things that people do just to gather wealth. And these are the people within society. We see that they are good Muslims, but they are getting wealth in the haram way, with lies, with deceit. So the danger becomes when our wealth of state become more important than obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's what makes struggle for a class so difficult. We continue to ask ourselves, if nobody knew I had done this, will I still do it? Should be our question. And what we do should be pleasure of Allah in whatever we do. The popular idea that we all know that in the Qiyamah, the first set of people Allah is going to judge a man that dies a martyr and is brought forward. He said that I died because of Allah. Let's say you are a liar. But you force people to say to you, you are brave and you have been praised to you. And then if the entire time Allah say for from. Similarly, a scholar that came, the teaches and recited Quran and go forward, because it's the same thing, Allah, I teach people for your sake. And I say, no, you want people to know you as a reciter, people have said to you, then you get your reward in the world because that's why Allah save us from that. And the third one that spread on the wealth, that spread was generous and spread this wealth. So God told us that He wants you to know that you have been called to be generous, you famous, then Allah said, Allah say for well, let's look at it. This hadith in Muslim, inside Trimid and Ibn Ibn. Let's look at these three things. A martyr who fought on the path of Allah, give his soul entire life, leave his family behind. His children become orphan. His wife become widow. Probably see as parents. Their belief or their children or their daughter. However, day of Qiyamah, he has no reward. A scholar, gathering knowledge is not easy. Spend time and effort to learn the deen, to learn the Quran. Spending time and effort to teach people. Teaching is one of the most difficult jobs in this world. Spend time to teach people. That's why this effort on that Qiyamah, that will not be reward. Spending money, not something that is easy, without expecting any reward. That's where such money, such effort, no reward from it. Need to give the critical thoughts. How important is the class so that all our deed will not be devoid of a reward. And this already told us that the outwardness of deed cannot save a person if the intention was corrupted. Knowledge is one of the greatest acts of charity because it means a means of destruction when pursued with reputation. Similarly, charity will not be judged by the amount this person has donated, his intention behind it. All these things are the act of worship. But what they feel the condition said in Surah by 95 that say not of thing. Do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's just a dangers of show. Maybe move to another topic. There's another hadith I think you need to discuss about from Zayd bin Aslam, who narrated with his father. Umar came out of the mosque and found Muaz by the gate of the Prophet weeping. And he said to him, "What make you cry?" He said, I heard from the messenger of Allah that a small aspect of show off is shirk, as one partner with Allah. Whoever wages war against the beloved of Allah and declare open war with Allah, Allah does those who are righteous, pious, and unknown. Those in their absence will not be missed. If they are present, they are not recognized. Their hearts are lamps of guidance, and they came out from them the unjust land. Study of Guna Akim, we are going to see this at this day. This narration is a strong warning against showing off. The scripture of people whom Allah loves, who Allah loves, hidden believers. They are righteous in their deed. They fear Allah and avoid sin. They do not seek fame or recognition. There are remarkable creatures al-akhfiyah. People are concerned with Allah's pleasure rather than poor visibility. When they are present, you will not know. If they are absent, you will not know. So it means that they do not see prominence, either applause or celebrity. They serve Allah quietly. Their values known to Allah, even unknown to society. I'll start an example here. One of my teachers told me when they're in the university, they have the plan on Friday to be cleaning the mosque, right off for Jumas. But every Friday, when they get to the mosque to clean it, the mosque is clean and well arranged. And they don't know the person who is doing this thing. So one day, he went out for an event and he came early, maybe very early, far from the time of Salah when someone should be sleeping. I went to the mosque. He now saw the person cleaning the mosque. He said to me that is the least person you expected to be doing that. He's not a student. He's a staff of the university. And he's the only one. And he's doing it. Nobody knew that he's doing it. So that the people Allah. And so that even himself, he did not tell anybody that he knew the person. Because the person is doing for the sake of Allah. Nobody knew him that he's doing. Nobody expected that. But even if he tells people he's one doing, probably not even believe he's the one. Because of the status in the university. So then there was a day we pray Maghrib. I know the brother, one minute the of Maghrib, he will stand up immediately. I thought he has gone home. So when I feel I want to leave the mosque, and I saw him, he said, but you've gone now. He now told me that he has not left that. He went to clean the toilet. I don't want anybody to know. And he has been doing it for several times. Now, once we finish Salat like this, Maghrib, he just stood up, went to the toilet, masjid, and go and clean the masjid before people came out. Nobody knew that he's doing that. That is a class. That is a class. So these are practical examples of what we do. And for us also describe that their heart and life of guidance. A lamp gives light to others while consuming sight. Like their heart are limited by faith and sincerity. And they became a source of guidance without seeking regulations. That they are light and life of guidance. They are not seeking recognition. And they are source of guidance. Then Allah guidance through the darkness of trials and tribulation because of the taqwa and the class. So I think I need to move to another thought. That's the danger of show up. May Allah save us from it. So let's look at it because of time. What are the fruits and ways of intention and sincerity? In several verses of Quran, Allah praised the sincere ones who do not intend by their actions and did anything other than Allah and seeking His pleasure. Surah Al-Insan, verse 5 to 10. Inna al-abrara yashrabuna min kasin kana misaju kafur ayn yashhadu ibadullah fajuna tabjira yufuna bin nadir wa yakhafuna yawma kana sharrun mustatira. Allah described the righteous, what's going to give them in paradise, and also give us the reason why they are entitled to this reward. That they feed people because of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they say that we are not feeding you, we are only feeding you to seek the pleasure of Allah. We don't want any thank you or praise from you. You're only doing this for the fear of Allah. Surah Al-Baqarah verse 265. Allah praise those spend their wealth to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So some of the that's some of the verse. Other verse, Surah verse 22, Surah Al-Baqarah verse 28. In another narration reported by Abu Umama, also told us that whoever loves for the sake of Allah and hates for the sake of Allah, give for the sake of Allah, and divide for the sake of Allah has completed his faith. Is in the Abu Dawud, you can find this hadith there. In another hadith by Umar bin Qadar and Abu Musa, Umar bin Qadar wrote to Abu Musa saying that whoever makes intentional prayer and sincere for Allah, Allah will sustain for him the wars between him and his people. So part of the footsteps in class is gaining the pleasure of Allah and sending off our deed. Allah is trying to cover Surah 110. Allah established that if you are sincere, Allah is going to give you his pleasure and accept your deed. And also, during time of tribulation, Allah is going to save you. Look at the case of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. He was put into the fire, but Allah made the fire comfort for him because of what? Because of sincerity. We also need the story of three people that were trapped in the cave, and they only prayed to Allah in the righteous they've done that. They actually did those things because of Allah. Allah saved three of them. What did they do? One of them used to give milk to his parents before his children. He came one day, his parents were sleeping, and don't want to give the milk to his children before it. And he waited for him to wake up, and his children was crying. And when they come back, and then he gave them. So if you are this for Allah, Allah should open a part of the rock for him. Another one, he loved one of his cousins, want to commit zina with her. That person refused, but that person was need help. He helped the person, and by the time I want to have the intercourse, the lady told her, fear Allah, do not break the seal unlawfully, and he moved away. So if I did it for the sake of Allah, Allah should be their distress. Allah put the rock. And the last person is a laborer. This one is a laborer. Then one of the workers refused to collect his wages and walk away. Then after some years, he came back. He used the money to buy flock of camel, cattle, goat, and all that, and wear for the person. And the person came back. Where is my money? Let's say somebody work for you, you need to give him less than £1,000. And the person, whatever reason, went away without collecting his money. I now look at it that instead of keeping it, let me invest this money for this person and invested the money. By that time, let's say the money has worth about £50,000. And in case I say, why is my money? Say, this is your money, £50,000. The person said, no, you are joking. Don't take me for granted. He said, no. It's your money. I'm not joking. And the person took everything without sparing anything. The wages left was £1,000. And you help him invest, multiply, became £50,000. Then he took all the £50,000 without giving you £1. Say, oh Allah, if I did so seeking your pleasure, deliver us of this disgrace. And then the rock open and they walk up freely. So if you are righteous and sincere in your action,
give me that.
That's one of Allah going to save you from trial and tribulation. Even in Nigeria, Imam Kamal Rahimahullah, when there was a famine in Ilorin, I want to do so that to see friend. He told Allah, I said more than once, if I have never committed zina in my life, let's rainfall. And every time I make that do, I rainfall immediately. So not only that will come back, even in this life, that if you are righteous, that you are in challenges, you can use your deed you did with a class to praise to Allah, and Allah will grant your dua immediately. Part of the remedy of a class is tranquility and peace of mind. In face of time and difficulty, you will not be bothered. Look at the story of Ashab al-Kahf. They were not bothered. They say, our Lord is not the devil and the earth. We shall never invoke any God under the eye. Otherwise, we'll be saying something different from the truth. Once we cover something. Guardian of the heart, people towards the sincere and their intention to him. Whoever is sincere, Allah will gather people hearts to you. People will love you naturally. You know, some people are looking for people love in the ibadah. When you are looking for Allah, Allah will not gather the heart of people for you. Based on this in Sahih Bukhari, that when Allah loves a servant, Jibril will announce that Allah loves so and so. So you should all love him. So the end of heaven will love him and it will be accepted by those on the earth. Whoever does action with sincerity, Allah will give them wisdom and a class. Ya ayyuhalladhina in tattaqullaha yaj'al furqana. If you fear Allah, Allah will give you the criteria, insight to be between the right and the wrong. Throughout the Baqarah verse 269 also. And also, when you are sincere, the deeds you're doing, that you have done, you are going to have secondary benefits. People that benefited from your deed, their reward also, you have the reward on their whatever they have done. You know, I did talk about Abu Yahya, you said, the man said, I shall give sadaqah at night. So Sadaqah going to the hand of adultery on the first day, in the hand of the rich man on the second day, and the hand of the thief on the third day. Of the adultery, perhaps it will give her modesty away from her adultery. As for this, perhaps it will take lesson and spend for what Allah has given. As for the thief, it will keep away from stealing. Without keeping away from stealing, it's going to be having its own reward. If the adult stop committing adultery, it's going to have him as start spending part of Allah, is going to also be getting the reward. So we are sincere also in our action. Even if we are incapacitated to do something, Allah will still reward us. This or this, Barasala told us that in the Badr, there are some men back in Medina where they're in the battlefront who did not embark on a work of this except that they are with support. The secret that kept them are still going to part of the benefits of a class, the units of our unity. If all are in class, most of the bickering and fights among the Muslim community, either locally, globally. If you are in class, our rank will be united, our mind will be united. Some of the challenges will never exist. And also, you need to allow you to fulfill your trust, be trustworthy, and also whatever situation you are, whatever roles you are given, you are going to perform your duty. If you advise, you take advice with pure heart and the class and contentment. One of the scholars, also part of the fruit of a class is Allah will not expose you. Now, they also told us that whoever wants people to see him, he will definitely be seen by them. Whoever wants to hear him, will definitely be heard. If you didn't think because of Allah, Allah will help your righteousness, keep seeking for you so that you can complete reward. So there are a lot of their salvation before Allah and gaining his pleasure. Surah to Torah, verse 112. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمُؤْمِنٌ فَلَا يَخَافُ ظُلْمًا وَلَا عَدْوًا. Whoever does righteous deed, while is a believer, shall fear neither injustice nor containment of his reward. Also, such will be consistent in exercising his duties and obedience, overlooking shortcoming of the servants of Allah. So, what is the example of the Salaf on the sincerity? We'll look at the case of Abu Bakr. We all know the story. Allah mentioned the Quran.
Starts 2 minutes, please.
What is it?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's leave that. Let's do how to attain sincerity. One, we can attain sincerity by fearing of popularity, addressing our insufficient inadequacy, then working silently. Irrespective we are, either we are a leader or a follower, we perform our duty. We're only concerned with the pleasure of Allah, not the pleasure of the people. Making our pleasure, our happiness, and anger for the sake of Allah, not for ourselves. You have to be patient on our righteous deed. We should not seek praise. We should not be deceived by praise. Not fall into praise anyone deceiving us. So part of them we can do to achieve sincerity because of the time, just to mention them. And also the care for show off. That's the last thing that we're supposed to discuss, but time have gone. Number one, we make ourselves convinced about the greatness of Allah, his power, the perfection of his attribute, and sound worship over everything. Allah is greater than any benefit we want to seek. Nobody can give us the benefit, whatever, apart from Allah. Allah is belong to Allah, the dominion of the heaven and the earth. Everything is controlled by Allah. Whatever you Allah is the provisioner. Whatever you want, Allah can give you. Why can't you do your deed solely for the sake of Allah? Whatever this you want, Allah will give you. Number two, we would need to train our soul to have this feeling that Allah is the greatest. His power and his perfection that we mentioned earlier is something we need to take ourselves. If we achieve that Allah is the greatest, then it's going to kill us from the show off. The third one is reading and study the lives of those who are sincere. The earlier scholar, the companion. The story I want to mention here is Abu Bakr that Allah told us in Surah Al-Baqarah that one of the people that accused Aisha wrongly were some people that somebody that Abu Bakr was the one sponsoring him, responsible for his means of living. I never can swear that you will never benefit from me again. Allah now really, but if Allah forgive you, why can't you forgive others? Allah change his intention and still supporting that person. Despite the fact that somebody defamed his daughter. Somebody defamed us and defamed our daughter, and that was maybe will be responsible for his school fees and for his son was living. Naturally, as human being, want to stop. But Allah really reverse and back it continue. So that our earlier scholars need to learn there from. But when the end of those who show off and brag, what is their end? Everybody will still die. But it's better to die on the path of righteousness. So, and also making dua, besides that for Umrah and the Tabin that make dua, that Allah should make their intention, is their amal saleh and their intentions sincere, but the case of Allah, we need to seek the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So because of time, this is where I get to be. Allah accept us, make our righteous our deed righteous, make our attention pure for the sake of Allah. We should not seek any other benefit from our religious obligations. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullahu khairan, Ustaz, for the X-ray of the topic on sincerity. Is giving us the definition of sincerity, how to checkmate ourselves, how to check ourselves to see if we are actually sincere for what we do. Some of the fruits of sincerity, everything is mentioned a lot. If you go back to the YouTube channel on our page, you'll be able to find this there. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase Ustaz in knowledge. I don't know if we have any questions, clarification that we'll want to make. So for those of us on Zoom, you can chat, type it in the chat area, or if you raise your hands, inshallah, we'll call you. For those on YouTube, inshallah, if you type it in the chat area on YouTube, I will try to pick it up from there. We've got a few minutes for this. Any questions? No one is raising their hands. Nothing in the chat area either. I'll quickly check on YouTube now, inshallah. Perhaps maybe you can use that
The all-new, all-electric
5 minutes to complete your session. Maybe mention something for the next couple of minutes whilst I check the YouTube, Ustaz. Ustaz, are you still there?
Yeah, somebody asked for the dua, so I want to do for the dua and paste it. Dua that the Umar make on the.
All right. Lawal family is raising their hands. If you unmute yourself and ask a question, please.
I forgot the dua.
Yeah, I will post it on the group now, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And what is your YouTube channel?
It's Muslim Forum of Britain. Muslim Forum of Britain. They type down YouTube, it will bring it up, inshallah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Okay. I'll post the dua. Okay, and yeah, I'll post the dua for more of them. The one for Mutara bin Abdullah. I'll post that one too. Okay, those are the two dua. Yeah, I'll post the dua. So say we have 5 minutes more, right? Somebody is raising up his hand though, Sister Khadija iPhone. Hello, Dr. Majid.
Yes, 4 minutes more. Go ahead, please, Sister Khadija. Ask a question. Sister, we can't hear you if you're talking.
Okay, if you have 5 minutes more, we can look at the exchange between the scholar and his student.
There's a question here, Ustaz. There's a question here.
Okay, what's the question?
Salam alaikum, Ustaz. Jazakallah khairan for the presentation. My question is that I want to ask, what is the case of a husband who, when there's an argument between him and the spouse, usually brings up the issue that if not that he brought the wife to the UK, she would not amount to anything, and that he sponsored her education.
Allah knows the best. Allah knows the best. The challenges we are having in the Muslim marriage today is the fact that the Western culture have made us women lack or feel that we are doing our family favor by doing our responsibility. In Islam, at every point in time, a female has someone who's responsible for her, essentially a father. Then when it's get married, all the responsibility of the father rests on the husband. The question I'm going to ask the husband is, if it is your daughter, are you not going to sponsor her education? If you are moving from one country to another, are you going to leave your daughter somewhere else? The day you marry her, you have told her family that I'm going to be responsible for your daughter, it's welfare and everything. You are not doing her any favor. It's a lack of understanding of Islam. Rasulullah told us that the best charity a man can do is a morsel of food that he feed his family. That's the best charity a man can do, to feed your family. So now saying that we are doing your duty, and now say that if not me, then why should you marry her? A family give you somebody wholeheartedly, a child they brought, a child they bring up. If they didn't bring her up, how are you going to marry her? You see some qualities in her. Who give her that quality? Is it you? Is it not her parents? There are some good you saw in her that say you want to marry her. If the prayer has not done that good, are you going to? There are a lot of people. Why do you marry her? She'll be thanking the family for bringing her out as a righteous wife that you feel qualified to be your spouse. And also we continue that responsibility to make her the best. So it's a condition we found ourselves today that we thought our responsibility is a favor to our family and children. Allah is going to ask we don't do it. It's not a favor, it's a primary responsibility. And the verse in the Quran on the we misinterpret this, misunderstand it essentially. Only tiny aspect of it that the authority. When you say Kawamu, a pillar, what's a pillar? A pillar will not allow something to fall. You are the pillar of your wife, your family. Your wife should not fall in her character, in her sustenance, in her beauty, in her welfare, in her happiness. That's why you are the husband. So may Allah guide us and give us the resources, we men and husband, father, to be able to bear our responsibility.
Amen. Sister Khadija, last minute.
And also for the wife, then things happen. Me, I used to say that make dua to Allah soften the heart of the husband. May Allah guide him. And also look inward to yourself. What are you doing wrong? I have an experience. One of my friends used to organize like Muslim iftar during Ramadan. So one day, a sister came, now talking about what her husband is doing and all that. So the other sister were advising her how to deal with her husband. My friend were now overheard. Now calling that and now ask her, all the things your husband accused, are you doing it? He said, yes, you are doing it. Then stop doing it. And after Ramadan, the sister stopped doing those things. The husband that was working another city that stopped coming, started coming home. So what has changed? He just what he accused her of, she just stopped doing it. He did not do anything more than that. So we help our husband with prayer. Then when you have something, sincerely check yourself. Am I if you are guilty of it within yourself, just fix it. The man will come back. Wallahu alam.
Jazakumullah khairan. I think the key point you mentioned on there is on two ways. Number one, we, the husband, we should try to understand the fact that it's our responsibility. We are not doing any favor. And from the wife side, let's make dua for us, all of us to change. Not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take every, men into account. We are family, so we should be praying for ourselves, not the other way around. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. Khadija, please, can you unmute yourself and ask a question? Oh, I think that's probably a legacy hand. I think we end it here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our ustaz for the session. Inshallah, we'll come back again in a fortnight. We have an interesting session planned. May Allah subhanahu we'll send all those information on our WhatsApp channel and all our media outlets. So inshallah, make it a date. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward every one of us for turning up. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الرحمن الرحيم
Abu Sauda, ṣé Nàìjíríà lọ ìwà àbó ó ti dé ni?
Mo dé láàárọ̀.
Ok, pẹ̀lẹ́, káàbọ̀.
Ẹ bá ti assign ẹ sẹ́rù mi láti ṣe.
Ọlọ́run àgbà níjọsìn.
Àmín ya Allah.
Pẹ̀lẹ́, ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ òbí. Ọ̀dà assalamu alaikum àti wákàtí.
عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا إن جهنم كانت كانت مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا إن للمتقين مفازا حدائق وأعنابا وكواعب أترابا وكأسا دهاقا لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم